This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency.
As the Shanley Deacons prepare to take on the Davies Eagles. Football on Shanley TV is presented by the Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level. We have an exciting game for you tonight. Stay tuned and we will return shortly, right after this message from our Deacon partners.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Beyond Boundaries Therapy Services, Busick, Olson and Associates, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Fusion Electric, Luther Family Buick GMC, Moore Engineering, Network Center, Off the Wall Advertising, OnSharp, Sanding Law, Sanford Health, and Shields.
Hi, Jacob Mayo here from Shanley AV. It's almost like Christmas came early in the second week of October already. Shanley is here to defend their home turf against Davies.
Yeah, it's a classic 25th Street showdown between the Davies Eagles and your Fargo Shanley Deacons. I'm excited for this matchup. Battle of the two 5-1 teams. Davies Eagles are looking good, 5 straight wins, and Shanley, they're also 5-1, and they're looking to rebound after a couple bad games.
For no intents and purposes have Shanley been intentionally shaky either on road games or at home, but they are somewhat of a wild card to watch and root for as us broadcasters up in the booth. An exciting game is always going to come your way, though, regardless of what happens to your favorite football team. The Deacons sporting a lot of hunters in the stadium today. Maybe they can hunt down some Eagles tonight.
Yeah, hey, America's not going to protect them tonight. All right, these Shanley Deacons, they're going after these Eagles, and they're planning on taking them down.
And with that, yeah.
I'm looking at this team right now, and if I'm the Shanley Deacons, if they want to win this game, they have to start the game fast. They didn't do that last week, and they went down 16-0 almost at half. They had a miraculous touchdown to close it. They also needed to feed Vuchiri Hakim early on in the game. He had 4 touchdowns in the first 2 games. He's only had 1 since then. They need to start feeding him the ball more, 2 since then. And then they also need to be more aggressive. Keep pushing the chains, going for it on 4th down, doing what Coach Mattern loves to do.
This is true. The passing game has regressed quite a bit. Mattern pulling out a different strategy against Century on their last home game, which was 2 weeks ago. They are playing a Davies team that averages just in their backfield between 2 players, the quarterback Mason Clabo and Oliver Lucht, combined for 234 rushing yards per game, which will definitely slow down any fast-paced attempt or drive Shanley tries to pull off here tonight.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their past games. They run the ball 2 to 3 times more than they end up passing it. And we've seen that versus Cheyenne for the Deacons. They did not fare well in that game, the only loss of their season. They're going to have to stop the run game tonight if they want to win this ball game.
And interviews. Please stick around for halftime. We got a small presentation coming up. It might be the start of something great. I talked to several linemen for the Deacons. They are in major contention tonight. In order to stop this run game, they are the story. If they give Michael Rosberg enough time in the pocket, then maybe, just maybe, they'll be able to put on some good and creative drives to start off this game.
Both sides of the trenches need to step it up.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the 25th Street Showdown right now?
Always ready, partner. Matthew Berg up to kick off. 12 minutes in the first quarter. 48 minutes of high school football action is just about to be underway. It is a cold night. Here's the kick. Got a narrow projection, and it's going to be returned. And there's some space to run. Breaks free. Tiptoeing down the sidelines and finally brought down at the 22-yard line. Grant Chozik.
That was an amazing return by Davies. They could not have scripted that up better. Now they're sitting right outside the red zone looking to score.
Their kicker is a former soccer player, and he can make field goals outside of this range if they don't push into the red zone.
I think he's a current soccer player too. Goalie
Yes,
for Davies.
That is true, yes.
They're having a great season. I'm pretty sure they're in the championship game.
They've come off of back-to-back 34-7 wins, and by coincidence, they start off this game very fast-paced and well. Number 27 already carrying the ball, Elijah Hayes. This is a 5'11 fullback for Davies, also having a great year.
He had a great game last week,
Yes.
over 100 yards versus Fargo South. And if you're a team of either fan base, you're going to be seeing a lot of what Cheyenne does with these power backfields. They're going to be running up the middle, and they're going to dare you to stop it. As they have 3 running backs back there.
Yes. And you don't know which one's going to get the ball either. Shanley seems to struggle against this formation, but not on that play. This one gets stuffed. Maybe a gain of 1 if they're lucky.
If the Deacons struggle again versus this formation, it's going to be bleak tonight. The last time they played against it did not go very well. Shanley, though, is very prepared for this matchup, and they're going to be trying their hardest to stop it.
10 minutes, 47 seconds left in the first quarter. No passes yet for Davies. Let's see if they try to toss this one across the goal line. They are going to come out in the same formation as they did the last 2 plays. Hard count, snap, taken up the middle. Hayes almost breaks free. A nice little sprint right up the middle. Gets it about to the 7-yard line of Shanley territory.
Yeah, this is what the Davies Eagles like to do, and they like to really run the ball so they don't have to pass it. And like we said in the pregame, they're going to try to run it 3 times more than they pass it. Right now they have 3 runs to 0 passes. Expect them to do more of that in this game.
They typically have a wide set until the quarterback decides to pull 2 more people to defend him in the backfield. Here's a interesting play that results in a touchdown. I don't even know what happened. It was a little shovel pass.
Yeah, that's definitely deep in their playbook there. What a statement drive by the Eagles. They didn't put up any points last time these 2 teams played. They got 6 on the board early in this one.
And speaking of kickers, here he comes. This is the first PAT attempt of the ball game. Doesn't seem to be a big deal, but with as many elements affecting the weather today, it's good that Davies relies on their rushing game rather than their passing one.
Yeah, this is the elements in this weather right now definitely favors towards the Davies Eagles because Shanley, they like to pass the ball around. The past 2 games, they've kind of shied away from it a little bit, but Michael Rosberg, he can still sling it down the field.
Absolutely. A gunslinger of sorts, Michael Rosberg, not afraid to run the football when he has to.
We saw that the last 2 weeks. He ran for 2 first downs versus Legacy. That was a thriller.
Absolutely.
I don't know if any of you guys watched that at home on YouTube, but that was a crazy game. They go down 16 early, and they come back 28 straight points. And this Shanley team, they don't stop fighting. They never have, and they never will.
9 minutes, 54 seconds left in the first quarter. Davies, with their first kick, just over 2 minutes into this ball game. Maybe that receiving of the football benefited them more than it'll hurt them coming in the next half when they have to kick it off to Shanley to start it. Esteban Nunez. This is not a very long kick. It's going to be returned by Luke Holcraft, an able runner. And he also makes a solid return. Not as flashy as that last one, but gets up to the 38-yard line. Excellent field position for the Deacons.
I have a feeling we're going to be hearing Luke Holcraft's name a lot tonight. He had 6 receptions last week, a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a sack. He was dominating in all 2 phases of the game, and now he's dominating the third one early on.
First down and 10 for the Deacons. Leininger to Rosberg's left. Snap, fakes a pass, going long for Hakim. And he has him on the opening play from scrimmage. Hakim down the sideline, out of bounds inside the 5.
Vuchiri Hakim, he's got the speed, he's got the size. He's a hard guy to stop when he's running like that. And like I said, if Shanley wants to win this game, they have to get Vuchiri Hakim going early. And that's what we saw right there on that play.
Dropped it right in the bucket. Knew that Hakim had a step on his defender before he had even passed him.
That was a great fake screen pass to Sam Oshak right there. And that guy, the corner biting, and it was all Vuchiri Hakim from there on.
Shanley is keeping Rosberg out there. They're going to go for 2 here. Oh, excuse me. Not a touchdown yet. Very similar formation. Excuse me.
So Shanley uses an early timeout here. They do that pretty often in these games. Something they didn't like out there. But if I'm the Deacons, you got the ball on the 3-yard line, and you have Adam Leininger, your power back, who's the leading rusher for the team. This is prime Adam Leininger territory for the Deacons.
And we have a large variety of running backs from Shanley. They cover all aspects of the running back game.
We are missing one, though.
Yes, this is true. And he's
Jack Hollis is out with concussion. Number 29, senior for the Deacons. Great locker room guy, and he's going to be sending this one out. Linebacker core is going to be a little thin as well.
He's tough, though. He was leading the school earlier, speaking in front of them for an entire hour. And that's the kind of leadership we have at Shanley. Handoff up the middle. Not much there. Leininger gets maybe 1. It'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line.
I mean, we can see a variety of different things here. Cam Allers likes to get the ball on the 1-yard line at fullback. Michael Rosberg, he's 6'4", so you could easily quarterback sneak it with him. And then, of course, you could always get it right back to Adam Leininger, just like we saw right there. The Deacons, they have a variety of different playmakers where you just get the ball in their hands, and they're going to make something special happen.
We got a player down on the field. It's never good to see injuries. We hope he's okay. Shanley injuries, including Jack Haldis, have been rather on and off throughout the course of this season. It was definitely prevalent against Shanley's 1 loss away at Cheyenne. The team was going through some mid-season growing pains.
Yeah, I mean, they've rebounded. They haven't won games in a pretty fashion, but guess what? It doesn't have to be pretty. As long as there's a win in that win column, at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. 9 minutes, 3 seconds left in the first quarter. We got 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line as they trot out there.
And here comes Cam Allers and Adam Leininger in the backfield. You got to think one of them is getting this ball right now.
Cam Allers, an amazing defensive player. He is optioned. Rosberg gets a push. He's going to be really close to that goal line, and he gets a touchdown out of it.
I was going to say, they better call that a touchdown. I don't know how a 6'4" quarterback can fall forward and not get 1 yard right there. Great run by Rosberg, and that's a Deacons touchdown.
And that is indeed a touchdown. As I said, Michael Rosberg is not afraid to run it when he has to. And with that, they are going to do a PAT attempt.
We got a new kicker out there. That is Adam Leininger. mid-season kicking change for the Deacons.
This one's up. A line driver right through the uprights.
Well, so we had Matthew Berg, who was a longtime soccer player, didn't get any PAT attempts in last week's action versus Legacy, which is how the game script was going down 16 early. But, wow, that is a huge kicking change for the Deacons that we have not seen coming.
No, not one bit. Matthew Berg typically takes over this position as kicker, but Leininger showing his stuff early on.
Showing his early athleticism right there. I mean, he'll be making plays on all three sides of the ball town, offense, defense, and now special teams as well. All right, so yeah, Matthew Berg, he's still doing kickoffs, just not PATs. I wonder if they'll trot him out for field goals with longer distance.
No matter what's going to happen here on this kickoff, Shanley's going to try to do a better job of covering that return. Last return by Chosick went down to the 22-yard line in plus territory, and it was not a good start for the Deacons. Game's tied. Both opening drives by both teams opening up in a score. Matthew Berg to kick us off. And it's a little squib kick, a bouncer. This is going to be returned by number 11, tackled by a Deacon. Number 11 for Davies, Kamani Davis. Don't know if he was, or Kamani Davis was not expecting to get the ball today, but.
Yeah, this is a fast start by both teams so far. They both scored touchdowns in less than 3 minutes to start this game. You gotta think that can't be sustainable for the rest of the action.
And it's going to be proven right here if it is a formula for constant success. Here's a little option, and it's a pass play, looking downfield, throwing way into dangerous territory.
Oshak almost had an interception right there. He had one versus Legacy last week, and it was right in his breadbasket on that one.
Luke Lawrence was the intended target, a junior, way behind him and also between 3 defenders. I don't know why you'd force that.
Yeah, that was the first pass of the game. Now Oshak, he didn't start off the year playing safety, but he's really come into his own on defense right now and has been huge for that secondary.
4 in the backfield. Here's a handoff, running left, trying to get some room to run, and he does. Gets about 8 yards. Oliver Lucht, big time runner for Davies, averaging 133 yards every single game. Well, I shouldn't say every single game, but he's averaging that much throughout his games that he's played in. 8 minutes and 42 seconds. Clock not ticking too much in this first quarter. Both teams moving the ball either through incompletions, completions that go out of bounds right afterwards, or first downs. We have seen very little bad play possession with the ball. Here comes the running back disguised as a quarterback, Claybo. He's going to go all the way. An absolute lapse in coverage by the Deacons. They mistackled.
Well, their safeties were playing super low. They were expecting the run, but when you have your safeties playing that low, once they get past that one line of defense, they're gone. Because the safeties were lined up where linebackers usually are. And yeah, once they get past the safeties, there's no one else going to catch them.
An absolute gallop of a run. Saw the open territory. Mason Claybo is a sophomore, folks. He's going to bring a lot to his conference over time. And I can't imagine that Coach Weremeyer is going to oppose having a sophomore of his caliber on his team. PAT's up, and PAT is through. So far, offense seems to trump defense in this game.
Yeah, not an ideal start for both defenses. They're going to have to fine-tune some things and get something going right, because if not, this could be a 40-40 shootout at this pace.
Shanley can hang. They defeated West Fargo earlier this year at Cichy Stadium 41-35. Ooh, that was a game.
Honestly, that was one of the scariest games to commentate in my career. I was on my toes. It was a two-possession game our way, a two-possession their game. It was back and forth. It was almost a nightmare at times. But Shanley pulls through at the end.
And you don't want to lose to West Fargo. It's the worst because, you know, Shanley loses quite a bit to West Fargo, but this year they had the Packers' number. And now Nunez coming back up to kick this one off. Not a very strong kick last time. Let's see if he can get more on it. Not much more, but it's a line drive. Will be fielded at the 10. And an absolute ankle breaker by Caden Crispin.
You know, usually you see that on the basketball court with Caden Crispin, but right there, he snatches ankles on the football field.
He took a shot from Caleb Christensen after running to the 27 or 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Deacons, 8:25 left in the first quarter.
All right, let's see how their passing game looks on this drive as they hit Hakim last drive for a huge gain. Their corners are playing really tight up to the line of scrimmage, and I know Michael Rosberg's loving that.
Oh, and they avoid a false start penalty, and it goes to Ducart. Ducart almost makes the runway.
Number 13 was just playing, I don't know if he's playing out of position or he was playing a little bit to the left, but there was nobody in the area of Joey Ducart right there. And if that one tackle was missed, he could have had a touchdown.
And they did narrowly avoid a false start penalty. Ducart barely nudged at the line of scrimmage. Don't think I saw you, Joey, but it works out for him. Gets about 19 on that last play. 8 minutes, 18 seconds. Clock temporarily stopping. Rosberg, delayed halfback draw. Run up the middle, a respectable gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
See, when you have weapons like Shanley has at wide receiver, it makes it really hard to stop the run because you're so worried about those guys. But right there, delayed handoff to Leininger, and he made them pay.
Leininger was not opposed to scoring on that last drive, but he couldn't punch it in as Rosberg snuck it in there on 3rd down. Leininger gets it this play, and he just trucks a man over, running over Zach Lilly, who gets the tackle. 1st down for the Deacons.
What I'm seeing right now from the Fargo Davies defense is their corners are playing very tight up to the wide receivers. And when they're doing that, they're often bringing another guy, either a linebacker or a safety blitzing. And that's going to make it tough for Michael Rosberg because he kind of likes to sit in the pocket a little bit. He's going to have to make fast reads and get the ball out really quick.
It's 3rd down and 1, not a 1st down. Michael Rosberg trying to maybe get a hard count. He's going to take it himself. He leans forward. I think he got it. We'll see. It's going to be close.
I'm not sure. They're going to call it a 1st down. I'm not sure who that was for Davies, but he timed the snap perfectly. Looked like an offsides there for a second, but he got there quick.
7 minutes, 20 seconds, and ticking. First quarter is kind of going by in slow motion, it feels like.
Yeah, so both these teams are playing, scoring fast. We've had more time not playing the game than actual play time so far today.
Snap taken. Rosberg looking, fires, wide open, never mind, way covered. Thought he had no one behind him. His silhouette, Connor Kraft's silhouette, is so large that he absolutely covered his defender up from this viewpoint. Trying to moss him, diving over, but no good.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're in week 7 so far, and Michael Rosberg and Connor Kraft haven't gotten to that point where their connection's automatic like you would have thought to this point. Connor Kraft, 6'8" wide receiver, basketball player turned wide receiver, and then Michael Rosberg with a cannon. You would think that would be automatic, but the chemistry has not been there to this point.
And this is a screen play to Pekarevich. He'll get a few on this nice little pass. gets about 5 yards. We'll make it 3rd and 5 for the Deacons.
With the tackle for the Eagles. It'll be 3rd and 4.
3rd down and 4, pardon me, as the Deacons slowly are starting to make their way down the field.
This is where I would look at Sam Oshak in the slot at the top. He's their big 3rd down guy for the Deacons.
Possible 4th down territory. This is caught. Connor Kraft just kind of grabs it and steps out of bounds and does not put up a fight.
If the boundary line was right there, I'm sorry, number 9, but I don't think you're bringing all 6'8" of that guy down.
Just kind of push him out of bounds and forget about it.
See, this is what Shanley needs to do. Keep getting those 1st downs, keep pushing the tempo, and they're going to get points on the board.
Michael Rosberg now just outside of the red zone, has passed quite a bit on this drive. He's going to hand it off this time, though, to Adam Leininger. Up the middle, a nice gain of 8. We take those. 6:05 and counting. The Eagles not really putting up any much more of a fight than the Shanley defense was on that last drive. Very evenly matched in an interesting way that this game has played out to start.
I mean, you've heard of the term bend, don't break. Well, there's a lot of breaking so far in this game. No bending on defense.
It is a chilly night, as we've stated before. It's flirting with freezing down there. Wide open on that far side is Oshak. He's going to, fight for it. Touchdown, Deacons.
Look at that effort by Sam Oshak. He now leads the team in total touchdowns with 7, surpassing Vuchiri Hakim.
He is so unbelievably consistent. He runs his routes that aren't, those long hailing routes that you can throw to Hakim or Kraft, but he throws, he targets those throws and attracts those throws that come right over the middle, right to the side, and he just, does he have an invisibility cloak, I wonder?
Well, I just think the defense, they're worried about the 6'8" and the 6'5" wide receiver. They forget about Sam Oshak in the slot, and he's going to make you pay if you forget about him, as you saw right there when he was wide open.
Leininger up to kick this PAT. 2nd attempt of the night. This one goes through.
He's been perfect so far.
5:28 in the first quarter. Already 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. Both teams combining for an impressive amount of yards on the ground.
Now this game is a lot different than the Century game last time this Deacons team was on the field. That game ended up 14-7, and it felt like the first quarter went by in 5 minutes flat. This game, not so much.
There's still time. That game didn't really stop the way that it stopped until the second half began. It was 14-7 against Century for Shanley's last home game. 14-14 all with a whole 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, because of that face mask penalty, they're going to be able to move the ball all the way up to the 45-yard line. They could try basically like an onside kick here, because either way, they're not going to be in good field position. That was a huge mental mistake by Davies, giving up that face mask penalty on Oshak there when he ran in for the touchdown.
And Oshak drew it perfectly, made a little stutter step, didn't think he was going to get into the end zone, but he still had that leaning forward action. Berg kicks this one just into the end zone for a touchback, which is a fair play move by Berg.
Well, I mean, that's only a 20-yard field position difference. I mean, I would like to see like maybe a squib or a pooch up into the air, nail him inside the 15-yard line, because this Davies team, I don't care who you are, if you're inside the 15, the 10-yard line, it's going to be hard to drive 85, 90 yards.
1st and 10 for Davies at their own 20, the worst field position of the day so far for both teams.
1st and 10 for the Eagles from their own 20.
We'll see what they pull out of their bag this trip down the field. Here's a throwing play, and it's caught. A stiff arm to the ground. Holy smokes. Landon Meyer got pushed down to the ground. And that was an excellent move by the wide receiver.
That was a brutal stiff arm.
Daniel York.
It'll be first and 10 from their own 38.
My, oh my. Five minutes, 21 seconds to go in this quarter.
So Shanley knows it's going to be a run based on this formation. They just don't know who's going to get the ball. It could be any four of those guys back there.
Shanley has seen this kind of formation play out as that run goes for about a yard. They've dealt with Cheyenne. They've gone through Century, who have very ground-based attack. And now this is a whole new beast altogether.
Yeah, I will say it's a little bit easier to defend compared to Cheyenne's, but still incredibly difficult.
Because Cheyenne utilizes the corners so much and the sides of the field. Here's a little pass, gets close to the first down. Ray Brown on that reception. He gets not 8, but more like 7 yards on that play.
And Raymond Brown, he's a great basketball player for Davies. Both of these two teams have basketball players turned wide receivers in this matchup.
Here we go. Third down and a long 2. On their side of the field, will Shanley get a stop? Oh my, and they do.
Damon Hospitalis led that one. Adam Leininger finished it off.
If you want to hear Damon speak, tune into the halftime report. We got some good commentary from him coming up, and he absolutely clogged that lane.
And they're going to go for it.
Here we go, another risky attempt.
Running in comes Will Mayhews. He's going to be lined up at the nose tackle position, or on the edge, excuse me, and he's going to be trying to get in there to make a stop.
Friday Night Lights, 4th down and 1 in the first quarter on their own side. Will Davies convert it? Handoff. They will, and they'll get a little bit more. A little bit more. Finally stumbling down is Elijah Hayes.
It's hard to stop a team when they just keep running, when they don't quit. Okay, it's okay if it doesn't work the first, second time. One of those runs is going to pop off, and we just saw that right there.
Will Mayhews comes off the field. For the Deacons, they have to hold them here. This is the place where you want to hold them. It's outside of field goal range, and if you can, try to get over 5 yards for their 4th down attempt. Snap taken, handoff, running. Here comes Lucht. He gets a bit, but not enough for a first down. He'll get about 3 or 4. A good little run. They'll take it any day. 3 minutes 12 and counting. Deacons need to put the pressure on this backfield.
Yeah, they just haven't had an answer for that running game so far in this game. If they're going to want to win this game, they're going to have to figure it out.
Many lineups to watch here on this drive with the wide receivers, but they're not going to get called a lot as there's maybe a fumble on the play.
Shanley says they have it.
No, they don't.
Do not, no. I love watching both sides point like, hey, we have it. And sometimes it's just a little charade.
But still not a very impressive gain on that play.
That was the play that they scored their first touchdown, I believe, on that little flip shuffle pass misdirection. Expect that a lot because that gets the defense confused.
A lot of interesting wide receiver matchups, though, as I was saying, but we might not see a lot of them because of this run game. However, we might see a pass on this play.
And there's that formation.
Here is a pass. Thrown. Caught. Here he goes. Dodges a defender, and he's into the end zone. Number 15 for the Davies Eagles, Nicholas Hasbargen. The junior makes his way in for the 3rd touchdown for Davies.
Yeah, he slithered through a pair of juniors right there to get into the end zone. Great play by Davies, just poor execution by the Deacons defense.
Mason Claybo's second passing touchdown, his
Third total.
third total.
Claybo's having a heck of a game so far in the first quarter alone.
1 minute, 58 seconds, and we already have 5 touchdowns scored in this game. PAT attempt is through.
So right now, both teams, they can't stop the other offense. It's going to be who gets that first stop. And right now, I'm not liking Shanley's odds.
No, but when these teams eventually get worn out by their own attack system, it's going to be interesting how long each one can last. As I said, Shanley can hang. Davies was in a mild shootout against Mandan there in the last minutes of that game that they lost to in their opener, but they haven't really needed to be in a shootout this year yet. If we're really being honest, they have blown out their opponents quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they blew out Cheyenne, who Shanley really struggled with a couple weeks ago. These two teams, though, they play different brands of football, and it's really exciting to see how they can both put up a ton of points onto the board.
Nunez is...
We need one of those classic Kane Chrisman returns right here.
Yes.
Give them a spark or something.
Nunez has got to be careful here because Caden Christman with a nasty juke on that last return even fooled me up here in the booth. This kick also directed toward Caden Christman, who bobbles it but is going to return it. Christman getting creative with the ball. He's got the edge. Does he get more? He gets a block. Caden Christman, spin move. Here he goes, the return man.
Caden Christman.
Christman, maybe a block in the back by Will Mayhoos. It does not matter, no flags. Touchdown.
This is what we were saying. We needed that return by Caden Christman. Stiff arm, spin move. He used every single move he had there to get into the end zone.
Caden Christman, is that his third of the year? I think it is.
Third return. That's his 4th touchdown total of the season for Christman. He should have been trying out for football a long time ago.
With all this hooting and hollering, my voice is going to be hoarse by the end of the quarter.
I mean, I'm already standing up. I was sitting in my chair. I'm out of it now.
6 total
Caden
touchdowns.
Christman, are you kidding me?
Lining her up for his 3rd PAT attempt, and offsides on this. Davies did not get all their men on the field. We're just seeing what the refs call here. Is there any doubt on what this entails? Pretty sure it'll be enforced on the PAT attempt rather than the kickoff ensuing after it. It's declined, perhaps? No, they're going to re-kick it. Although it is ever so closer to the goal line. That ball is spotted at the 1 instead of the 2. Snap, drop, kick, high, up into the air, right through the
That was a
upright.
sky kick. Back to that Caden Christman touchdown. He's got a lot more colleges looking at him now after that kick return.
He's so creative, and as he also doesn't go down either.
I mean, he stiff-armed that one guy, took his soul away, it felt like. Spun move another one, and took it straight to the house. Will Mayhoos with a crucial block around the 30-yard line, too. Can't forget about that. Just a great special teams play by the Deacons, and it's 21-21, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet.
The amount of ball movement in this short amount of time, I have never seen at Cichy Stadium, nor has many a viewer who's seen our videos seen this kind of back and forth action that we have on tonight. This is truly something special, folks.
I mean, if you love high-scoring offensive matchups,
I do.
This is your game right here. Now, if you're old school, if you like the Thursday night matchup for football, personally I didn't, but just field goal after field goal, that's not what you're getting here.
Berg up to kick again. this time in a more familiar place instead of that face mask penalty spot. It's a little squib kick, a bouncer kicked up into the air, and it's going to be returned by the same return man who ran it back last time, Kamani Davis.
Davis on the return for Davies.
1 minute, 34 seconds left in the first quarter.
Espinales with the stop for the Deacons. It'll be 1st and 10 for Davies at their own 30-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Davies trying to answer after that explosive Caden Chrisman return. And same formation as they always do. Claybo takes it, pump fakes again. He's gonna run, and he's gonna slide right into the lap of Adam Leininger and company.
We don't see quarterback slides a lot when we play running teams like this. Not even from Michael Rosberg, who, when he doesn't really run that much, but when he does. Even a 4-yard gain is good for the Eagles right now.
They can wear out this Shanley defense like they did the last drive. They can slowly and narrowly win this arm wrestling match. And here's a nice little play.
I mean, right when Shanley thinks they've got him stopped, they just keep tricking him.
A little bit of a speed option play on that one. And Elijah Hayes had an opening. That looked like it was going to get blown up, but that's part of the play.
I mean, they had 2 guys blown up, but the 3rd guy who had the ball, nobody was by him.
1st down and 10. Shanley cramming this box just a little bit. And this play gets absolutely blown up. Elijah Hayes brought it for about 10, maybe 8 yards on that last play. Only got half a yard maybe at best on this play.
Huge stop by Luke Holcraft and Aiden Melander there for the Deacons. That's going to make it 2nd and long.
Just under 30 seconds to play in this first quarter. An exciting one. Leininger on this left side showing blitz, doesn't matter, goes to the opposite side, and Claybo takes it for about 4 yards, and it'll bring us to the end of this eventful first quarter, to say the least.
Yeah, Fargo Davies, they've had 15 rushing attempts that I've counted in this first quarter alone. They're on pace for a solid 60 so far in this game. You gotta think that's about as we'd expect.
They've been lucky that Shanley hasn't had the ball in their hands so much so as through the air or on kickoff returns. We'll take a little bit of a break from commentary. Prepare yourselves. The 25th Street Showdown is just beginning. Fields flip, second quarter begins. 3rd down and 5. Davies looking to cross into Shanley territory with this first down if they can get it. Here's a handoff. Number 4 fighting for it. He's going to get it. Fumble on the play.
The ball's out.
And it's going to be Shanley football. It was knocked out and recovered.
The running back tried to extend, reach out for that first down, and it got punched out by the Deacons. That's the turnover they needed.
Jordan Leininger did the smacking and also got the ball.
And again, I'm standing up. This is a wild one at Cichy Stadium.
We only have so much space here in this box, Brooks. You better sit down. No, joking. But great field position for the Deacons. Trying to get a leg up on Davies in this contest.
First and 10 for the Deacons at the 50-yard
Now
line.
they have to capitalize here. They got to keep pushing the ball.
It figures that it's a turnover that changes possessions for the first time in this game.
Well, Shanley was close to that Sam Oshak, almost interception. Michael Rosberg's looking deep.
And there's going to be a holding penalty on this play. Rosberg just runs out of bounds. We'll see who it's. Yes, Shanley.
And that's a big penalty. Makes it 1st and 20. Definitely not ideal. And holding penalties, those are drive killers for offenses because they're so long and they really get you behind the chains.
Rosberg had some men downfield, but over the linebackers, it's kind of hard to see. And also, he can't really tell when a safety or cornerback might jump to undercut that route and maybe get a pick.
Yeah, if you don't feel confident throwing that ball, just tuck the ball down and run it yourself.
1st and 20. Rosberg takes it. Rosberg looking, throws over the middle. Nice gain, makes it 2nd and about 9. Luke Holcraft.
I was joking to Michael Rosberg about, throwing it to Luke Holcraft, his tight end number 1, a little bit more. And he's really took that to heart, doing it a lot in the past 2 games so far. Luke Holcraft, a new weapon emerging for the Deacons.
Number 11 with an 11-yard reception with 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second quarter. And Deacons now kind of in a more familiar spot, 2nd and 9, much more manageable than that 1st and 20. Looking, Rosberg throws it to Leininger, snaking his way through defenders, will get pretty close to that 1st down line, and he'll make it about 3rd and 1, 8 yards.
You can tell that Shanley's been watching their film on this defense. They know when Davies is about to send pressure, and when they do, they're just going to dump it down to Adam Leininger, and he's going to turn a 0-yard pass into a 8-yard gain like we just saw right there.
So far, this game is not disappointed. It's kind of turning up how it was hyped up to be. 2 5-1 teams in a heated rivalry. Snap taken, fake handoff. Perkarevich tipped up into the air and intercepted.
One-handed.
Keaton Schwab.
That was a classic tip drill interception right there. That's why you practice that on Monday through Thursday, so you make those plays on Friday.
I believe it was Keaton Schwab on that interception.
That's a heartbreaker for the Deacons.
5'8" senior making that play. And now we have back-to-back turnovers on both teams. Momentum instantly killed, and that's what you absolutely cannot do with turnovers. And it just so happens that it was on 3rd and 1 too.
And that'll be Michael Rosberg's 4th interception thrown this year.
Here's a handoff to number 4. Up the middle, not much going for Luke Lawrence.
That could have been a late hit. They're not going to call it, though.
No.
He drove him about 7 yards back.
Well, when there's no whistle, he didn't hear no bell.
Hey, yeah, you keep playing through that whistle. Davies' section is not loving that no call right there.
9:50 and counting. 2nd and 8. Handoff, no. It's going to be taken, and once again, it's Claybo. Nobody decides to check him, and takes it up to the 40-yard line in plus territory.
And you see there, Leininger was trying to strip the football once more. Wasn't successful there, which is why it took him a little bit longer to pull him down.
Gain of 22 on that run. Takes Davies into plus territory and also into basically 4th down territory.
I mean, in this game, you're not going to win it off kicking field goals with just how this game's going. Both teams playing spectacular football right now as they're both 5-1.
Another run up the middle. This time, Miles McKinnon. No, excuse me. I am not quite sure who that was. Allers made the tackle on that play. Very difficult to see with these many running backs and fullbacks, I suppose, too, on Davies to see where the ball's going. Here is Claybo. He's going to fall forward, and a flag on the play. Late hit. Allers is heated because he basically just fell down, and it just...
This is a chippy rivalry. I mean, it's to see who owns 25th Street, and you got to feel like there's going to be a couple of these plays, a couple of these scuffles in this one.
There were 2 flags thrown. There's a debate on what flags are on whom. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a targeting penalty or an unnecessary roughness at that. Wasn't intentional helmet to helmet, but when Claybo went down, he was met by a Deacon defender, and that is very dangerous territory. Can result in concussions and things that unfortunately limit the careers of some high school football players.
Yeah, they're talking about this a lot. They could do offsetting penalties for after the play and then unnecessary roughness on Cam Allers.
And we might see that here. We'll see what they give us.
They're going to be talking to Coach Mattern, telling him what they're seeing right now.
Wow.
That's going to be offsetting.
Repeat of down.
So after all of that, nothing happens. It's still 3rd down and long. Well, 2nd and 6. They haven't changed the yard markers yet.
I'm not sure if anyone's going to come out of the game, if they have already. I don't think so. Eight minutes, 39 seconds to go in the second quarter. They're going to actually make it 1st and 10 for the Eagles rather than 2nd and 6 like it was. Claybo took a hit on that last play. He's going to run it again, and he also gets eaten up by a bunch of Deacons after a 5 or 4 yard gain. Ooh, and it's getting a little bit feisty down there. You saw that in that tackle, there was some emotion.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of bad blood between these two teams in whatever sport they play. Contrary to others' belief, these two teams, they don't like each other at all. And it's been shown year after year in whatever sport they play.
2nd and 6, which is the exact same thing that it was one play ago. Pass, completion. Oh, dropped. Wide open. Claybo couldn't connect with his receiver, Nicholas Hasbargen.
And I was just about to comment about how Davies has done a very good job of not dropping those easy passes, but they just dropped an easy one right there, and could have been a 1st down. Now you're looking at a 3rd and 6. That's going to change the complexion of this drive.
Not to make excuses for a dropped pass, but this temperature is starting to cool down even more as we go into the later hours of the night here in Fargo, North Dakota. These two teams experience very similar home weather conditions since they're on the same street. Ooh, Claybo gets met at the line.
Yeah, he's going nowhere on that one.
Now,
this is no man's land right here. I know you have a soccer player at kicker, but I don't think you can nail a 40-something yard field goal like this. I think you have to go for it.
It'd be a 46-yard booming kick. Nunez has not shown to be very well.
Looks like they're keeping the offense.
He doesn't seem to be very well off when kicking long distance, as you can see on the kickoffs. They are going to go for it. Maybe they'll try a hard count here. No, snap. Way to his left. Claybo, no holding penalty. Oh, there's a flag, and that's going to be taken back.
And then now they're going to punt that football right there. That was a huge hold right there, because if he wasn't held, that's a stop by the Deacons.
You got to imagine which one is worse. the outcome or the medicine, I guess, or the cure, the disease or the cure. And on this case, I think the cure is worse.
Yeah, well, now the Eagles are going to punt it. Huge stop by the Deacons.
Fourth down.
And now they're switching the teams. So now Kane Crispin, he's back there. It looks like alone. This is the first time we've seen this by the Deacons. Oh, there comes Dukart. Kane Crispin had that kick return touchdown. Does he still have a little bit of magic left in him? We'll see.
Dukart also has phenomenal speed. This kick not going very far. It's fielded by Crispin at the 26-yard line. And the Deacons will start off with comparatively mediocre field position for what they've had in this game.
Yeah, I don't know if they were trying to do a punt like that, but that was very smart, not letting Kane Crispin have any room to work with right there after what he did on that kickoff.
Deacons realizing that after that turnover, they need to be more careful with the football. They've now gotten it twice, and the game has slowed down considerably from the hot start. We'll see if the Deacons can re-spark this matchup.
I mean, now if you're the Deacons, this would be a time to do one of your long 6-man drives, as there's 6:46 left in this half, and you get the ball to start the second.
Here's a little option, a flea flicker. Oshak going long. Does he have the arm? He does! Hakim in open space. Will it be one play? It will! Touchdown, Deacons!
And the whole Deacons sideline's running down to meet Buchiri in the end zone. Great trick play. Was that Oshak with a touchdown pass?
I'm even standing up after that one.
Third time's the charm?
Oh,
I think it is.
Holy moly.
Buchiri, another touchdown in this one.
That one.
This is his third career 2-touchdown game, and granted, he's only played this season.
Forget your 6-minute drive. How about one play?
So Oshak, his second touchdown, he's got a passing touchdown, and Abuchiri, he's got a second of the game. Both those two guys with 2 touchdowns, and I don't know if I'm Michael Rosberg after seeing that dime, I might be sweating.
Missed PAT.
No, I'm just kidding. Michael Rosberg's got that locked up.
The Deacons retake the lead for the first, well, not retake, take the lead for the first time in this game. Although it comes after a considerable amount of time, a lot of scoring, and a lot of constant ball movement. Eventually, it lands on the Deacons to score first. Halftime's coming up in 6 minutes and 34 seconds. But never forget that you can connect with Shanley TV on social media, get the latest updates about Shanley sports teams, plus reminders about upcoming broadcasts. Like our Facebook page today at shanley.com/ShanleyTV, or follow us on Twitter at ShanleyTV. Deacons to kick off again for the 5th time in this game.
I have a feeling that missed PAT might come back to haunt the Shanley Deacons. And you got to think next time they score a touchdown, they're going to have to go for 2.
Here's a little squib kick, goes right between the legs of the Davies returner.
You want to eliminate the huge kick return that Davies had to start the game? Just do a little squib kick, just like that.
At their own 32.
It's effective in high school football to do those little kicks where, especially on people who are not expecting the ball to come their way. We see it on that last play. Hasbargen falls on his own mishandling of the football. But that ball is starting to become more and more slippery. It didn't show on that last play from scrimmage. Oshak hitting Hakim for a bomb.
That was a great pass, too.
Yeah, it was. Claybo looking, thinking about taking off. He eventually does. It is contested out of bounds. 5-yard gain will make it 2nd and 5. And I'm not sure what's happening over there on that sideline. Maybe, Player down. Maybe a cramp.
Injured player on the play for the Deacons.
It depends on what it could be. We hope it's just cramps, as terrible as that might sound. 6:24 left to go in the first quarter. Sorry, second quarter. Still got the first quarter on my mind.
I don't blame you. That was crazy. 42 total points scored in that one. Almost as many points as it was scored in last week's game versus Legacy. And the Shanley player is still down on the Davies sideline.
And as we move on from this injury timeout, I gotta imagine what's going through these coaches' heads. I mean, on one side you got Weremeyer, Coach Wayne Weremeyer for Davies, whose entire goal of coming here was to maybe slow this game down just a bit with a running game. And then you have on the other side Mattern, who's kind of known for kicking and like going for it on every single drive rather quickly.
Hospitalis is going up, and he's jogging off the sideline. Good to see him up and about.
It's always good to see your lineman, especially one like that, a senior, returning for his fourth year, go down with an injury like that in the middle of a heated rivalry game. 27-21, 6:24 run game.
That's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage right there.
Not much happening on that one.
The run defense for the Deacons has been stout in the last couple of drives, but like I previously mentioned, it doesn't matter if you can stop them on first and second. They're one big run away from just changing the whole complexion of this ball game.
And it all depends here on 3rd and 4. Some of the biggest plays happen on 3rd and 4. Davies not.
I would expect a curl route by one of their receivers. That's their go-to play on longer passing downs.
Here it is. Looking, Claybo falls down. No, he gets ripped down by Will Mayhus.
Will Mayhus had a heck of a game last week, had a sack, a couple of hurries. He has a sack in this one. I'll tell you what, if you're a college looking at some defensive linemen, how are you not looking at Will Mayhus right now? He's had a heck of a senior year, and it only gets better.
He's a hype machine, and he stops those big plays from even starting.
Have you seen his eye black on the sideline?
Oh, it's
That's some
menacing.
crazy stuff.
Yeah. Fair catch, and it's mishandled, but no matter. Shanley will get the ball again with just over 5 minutes to play. They had the ball with 6 minutes 47 seconds, and now they have it yet again.
Well, if I'm the Deacons, I keep pushing the tempo. I say you try. It doesn't matter if you're scoring fast or slow. Just keep getting points on that board, because you get the ball in the second half. Davies hasn't been able to do anything on their last 3 drives. I say you keep throwing the ball down the field.
And I'd agree. Try to waste more clock, though, on this, because Shanley does get the ball to start that second half.
Well, you want to try, but these corners, they look ill-prepared for tonight's
They
matchup.
absolutely do. How can
They
you
have not been
resist?
able to, they wouldn't even be able to cover a parked car, in my opinion, with how this game is going. So, I mean, these wide receivers are very good.
And they're also leaving some space, trying to stop downfield wide receivers. Leininger instead is going to get a short little screen pass that gets him about 3 yards.
3-4 yards is not bad. You do that 4 times, that's a first down.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Clock continues to tick. Not the same kind of start on that last drive that Shanley had. Oshak hitting Hakim for, I believe it was 62 yards.
It was a long pass, Richard with his second touchdown right there. And I like the matchup on the outside for him to do it one more time.
I do. Hakim has got Ray Brown on him, only 5'11" on 6'5". Rosberg looking, throwing, behind, no, overthrown. Christman was the intended target.
And Raymond Brown and Bashir Hakim, they battled out on the basketball court, now battling out on the gridiron. if you're a basketball fan, you're going to be looking at that matchup come December.
4 minutes, 11 seconds. Shanley trying to avoid going 3 and out. 3rd and down and 7 from their 36-yard line. Almost a mirror of what Davies went through on that last drive. Let's see if Shanley can cross into plus territory.
Davies might be sending a couple guys.
Rosberg looking, throws. Between 2 defenders, Oshak holds on. 1st down for the Deacons. He is down, though.
That was a huge hit taken by Sam Oshak. I'm not sure how he holds on, but he is not looking good right now.
And here comes some staff to look at him.
You know, as a quarterback, you never really want to throw in the middle of the field when the safety's closing down, because that's just asking for your wide receiver to get rocked. Wide receivers don't like running those routes. Quarterbacks shouldn't like throwing those, but man, that was a great catch by Oshak, and we really hope he's okay, as he's had 2 touchdowns in this one.
It looked rather heroic, kind of going down with the ship on that, rather elegantly.
And yeah, Shanley, they've been really good at those 3rd and 5s so far in this game. Very good at converting. The only time they haven't scored was on a tip drill interception. So this offense has been moving the ball, but we are very concerned about Oshak on the field, as he has been big for this offense, not just this game, but the past month or so. And he looks like he's going to be walking off.
I hope he just got the wind knocked out of him. You want to protect your receiver like that at all costs.
I mean, it looked like he got hit in like the chest or the ribs, so it wasn't a head injury or anything like that. But I'm sure we'll hear more about it either after the game or later in this one if he comes back in. But now new side of downs for the Deacons. Let's see if they can get some more points on the board.
Just under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Wide receivers pointing out some information regarding Ducart's route. Rosberg looking, cannot scramble out of there. Instead, he'll get dropped for a loss of 1. Davies getting fired up after that tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
They brought a heavy blitz off the right side.
They did.
Top of your screen right there. And there was just nothing that the offensive line could have done. Michael Rosberg, luckily he didn't try to throw it, or else that would have been a strip sack right there.
And he had about, what would you say, 3 or 4 guys all over him, draped on top of him.
And they were all coming off the same side of the field, too.
Yeah. 3 receivers.
Now they're playing
to his right. There's going to be a timeout taken, 2nd and 11.
So it's interesting to look at. Before they called that timeout, the cornerback on Connor Kraft was playing about 7-8 yards off the line of scrimmage. That's a gimme if I'm Michael Rosberg right there.
There is only so much time left in this first half. Deacons are trying to squeeze out every single drop of it on this drive. If they can do it well, and they can do it taking up almost all, if not all, of that time on that clock, which is 3:07, we may be in for an excellent start to a Shanley second half, because they do get the ball to start off the second half. And in a game of possessions like this started out being, we can only expect for them to keep playing it like this.
Now watch Kane Chrisman in the slot right now. He doesn't really have anybody on him right now. He could be a quick screen pass. Oh, now someone comes up to defend him. Now he's got a safety. He can make a play on the ball right here.
Snap, Rosberg looking, throws, barely gets it away. And flag gets thrown.
Sam Oshak, he's back in the game, luckily, after that huge hit.
We might get holding here.
And that's a drive killer.
Yes, and it is. 2nd and 21, it looks like will be coming up for Shanley.
All right, now it's 2nd and 21. There's 3 minutes left in the half. You're not necessarily worried about the clock, worried about trying to wind it all the way down to give Davies no more time. You're just trying to get any sort of points out of it. And that's what I think the focus has to be.
Now it does.
When they're in these second or long situations, look for deep middle of the field, Vashiri Hakim or Connor Kraft doing post routes. or a little screen pass to Caden Chrisman.
Trying to utilize the wide side of the field. Fake handoff, thrown wide open on that side is Oshak making a move. He's going to get really close to that first down marker, maybe a yard short, and that penalty kind of gets undone really quick. Makes it 3rd down and 2.
I'll tell you what, Sam Oshak, his footwork on the sideline is something I've never seen before. He's had so many either first downs or long plays or touchdowns where he's walking like a tightrope and just stopping mid-stride. It's really remarkable to see that.
He goes up like an Olympic athlete, and he comes down like a ballerina sometimes.
You got to think he has some gymnastics or ballerina background. I'm going to have to ask him about that after the game.
And Davies showing blitz. Rosberg going to take it himself. He's going to
fall forward. So Shanley's offense is showing you it doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 21. They're going to get that first down.
And that's got to hurt the mentality of the Davies defense that they drew a holding penalty and then
they still can't get a
stop. Clock begins to tick again. We're just approaching the 2-minute 30-second mark left in the first half.
Now, if you're Michael Rosberg, you don't want to be attempting any risky passes. If it's not there, check it down or throw it away because you need points on this drive.
Shanley had a turnover on this side of the field.
There's the throwaway.
There it is.
Now, Michael, in the Century game, he did a lot of scrambling back, throwing it out of bounds like that. He didn't do that at all versus Legacy, but a little error right there.
Clock stops after that incompletion. 2:16.
Pressure applied by Lorenz.
Very good pressure by Lorenz and company. The Eagles forcing Rosberg out of the pocket, which we have not seen quite a bit this game.
The O-line has been holding up very well, which I thought was very surprising considering the stature of this Davies defensive line.
And it's not about height and it's not about size as much as it is about.
And that's the 3rd and final timeout for the Deacons.
Unity and communication on the offensive line is just as important or maybe even more important than size and strength.
Yeah, now the Deacons, they don't really use their timeouts to stop the clock, more as make sure they got the right play. But yeah, talking more about the offensive line, Michael Rosberg earlier this week gave them a huge shout out, and they've come to play so far today.
Regarding our offensive line, we got a string of 3 interviews coming up at halftime, all offensive or defensive linemen. Please stick around. We're actually trying to fill up your halftime screen instead of just being a floating Deacons logo.
I don't know, I kind of enjoy that Deacons logo
yeah,
from time to time.
But we got some entertainment coming for you after, or during, I should say, the break.
For sure, for sure.
Perkarevich going to the left side of the field. Rosberg, empty backfield, looking, throwing into double coverage. Hakim dropped interception.
Yeah, underthrown pass by Michael Rosberg there into double coverage. Not one I would have thrown, but lucky that it was not intercepted by Davies.
A lot of contact down there, and that should have been picked off.
It should have been. And those are plays that I was saying that you can't have right now to end this half. You want to get points on the board, and you just cannot give the Davies Eagles another chance to get back in this game because they have the chance to make it a 2-score game with ball at half, and you want to close Davies out as fast as you can.
This is 4th down territory here. If they can get some yards on this play, they might. Oh, and there goes a false start. Chrisman.
Looks like he slipped a little bit there.
Stellar game so far, though, for Chrisman overall.
Yeah, that was the first miscue on an amazing day for him. I know he's kicking himself because he's the ultimate competitor.
He is. You see him on this football field, brings it every single game, every single return.
There's no off days for Caden
Chrisman. There ain't
Chrisman.
no off days for Caden Chrisman.
That might have been a false start by Buchiri there.
Throwing, and it's going to be Perkarevich. He's going to get the first down. 3rd and 15.
Somebody just got pancaked at the 20-yard line, about 7 yards past where the play was.
Yeah.
Call him IHOP, because that was a pancake right there.
Bergerevich with the catch.
I believe
We got a
it's
flag
number
on the play.
54. Oh, flag on the play.
It looks like it may have been a holding or offensive pass interference, or that too.
Oh, no.
Well, it looks like Vutriga Kim, he was blocking way before the ball was out, so 2 or 3 seconds before. I thought that could have been
They're down
defensive
in
pass
20.
or offensive pass interference there, but they call a legal man down the field.
Oh, that's a swing of emotions right there, and that is
Great play call. Don't get us wrong, but now it's looking at 3rd and 20 here. But the Deacons, they've done this before.
flags on back-to-back plays. And I think the illegal man downfield was that pancaking warrior running out of the pack. Rosberg looking, throwing. Hakim gets it. He's going to be much closer than the Deacons were maybe hoping to get to
So
that.
4th and 5 here. You go for this.
Yes, it's manageable.
And if I'm the Eagles, I'm calling timeout right here.
4th and 4 for the Deacons.
Deacons going to go into huddle, trying to figure something out.
They've got time. They have 25 seconds left on the play clock.
Try
But
to
no
drop off
timeouts.
sides. No timeouts, though.
And no timeout by the Eagles, which I think is very weird. They could have had a minute 30 to go down and score. But now they're giving the Shanley Deacons a chance right now.
Rosberg, snap, looking, throwing. Kraft, got it.
He's got a first down.
Clock stops at 52 seconds. And we got ourselves,
Correction,
Shanley,
Connor Kraft.
we got ourselves a drive here, folks.
Now Connor Kraft, he has, earlier on in the season, he had a couple of drops that he was really kicking himself for. But you can tell he's been working hard to stop those because he has been near perfect the last couple of weeks.
Rosberg looking, throwing into Connor Kraft's domain. That ball, triple coverage maybe? Oh my
He almost
goodness.
got put on You Got Mossed
Yeah.
right there.
He almost got it too.
There were 3 guys there, had it over his head, just couldn't bring it in.
No ball is too out of reach for Connor Kraft.
With that wingspan, no way.
6'8", going
Fargo breaking up that pass.
all the way over top of 2-3 defenders.
So right now, there has to be some sense of urgency for the Deacons. No timeouts. You're 30 yards out with 36 seconds left in this game. Got to be thinking shots at the end zone or quick out routes to stop the clock.
Incompletions don't really hurt either. Rosberg looking over the middle. Oh, shock. That one hurts.
And yeah, his hands are on his head right now. He wish he had that one back. I think he may have been thinking he was going to get deja vu from that one hit in the middle of the field. Maybe that's the reason why he didn't focus so hard on that ball, but that's uncharacteristic for Oshak, who's had an amazing game so far.
Was destined and bound for that end zone if he had gotten the whole ball on his hand, but it just
Oh, yeah.
slipped.
Now it's 3rd and 10, and with our kicking situation right now, this is obviously 4th down territory.
Expect the unexpected when you're playing Shanley's pass game, and it's Leininger
Out of
who's
bounds.
taking it.
And that's a late hit out of bounds. There's the flag.
Huge flag, too.
You can't do that. He was 5 yards out of bounds. You can't. This isn't WrestleMania. You can't do that.
Get the folding chair, folks, because he just hit the bench. But anyway, we have 25 seconds left in the first half.
And that's a huge penalty. Not only does it stop the clock for the Deacons, that gives them a new first down and about 15 yards. With 25 seconds left, they're going to have the ball in prime real estate.
It might be half the distance to the goal here
15 yards checked out here in the
instead,
play.
but no, it will be
First
the whole 15 yards.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line.
They're standing right outside of goal-to-goal situations, and they're just going to keep taking end zone shots, because why not?
Why don't you do that? It's not really a downside, except, you know, the risk of a tip drill not going your way.
You look at Connor Kraft right there. He has a smaller corner on him. I just saw Michael look over there right now.
Rosberg looking. He's going to take off, which is not.
And now you got to get up fast, get the ball to the ref, and you got to run and play or spike it.
I think they might do a spike here.
Yeah, because he's rarely ever under center.
Whoa. Lineman got hit right in the pads and got knocked on his back.
Now, that's great discipline by Butler right there. Because if that was me, I wouldn't have had that. I would have been back up trying to talk some smoke right there. But he knows situation football. He knows they can't have that 15-yard penalty. Great awareness by Butler.
Under 10 seconds.
So this is not where Michael Rosberg. He can't just sit in the pocket all day. He's got to make a quick read, and it has to be into the end zone. This is why I love a Connor Kraft jump ball right here, or something where you just give Connor Kraft one-on-one and let him make a play.
Big
The clock's
time.
winding down, too. The play clock at 3, 2, 1.
And
Timeout, Eagles.
Timeout called by the
wow.
Eagles.
Bailed him out.
Wow. Not expecting a timeout by the Eagles here.
Well, the Eagles, they must have not like a personnel that they had on the field or something of that nature, because that clock was about to expire.
Davies still have 2 timeouts here. Been fairly conservative.
They've been very cautious with their timeout use in this half.
And they've moved the ball just about as well as Shanley has until the second quarter hit.
Yeah, that second quarter was a huge momentum swing for the Deacons, as they've shut them out in the second quarter.
They need to get to the 2-yard line to get a first down that temporarily stops the clock if they do want to get it in bounds.
All right.
We're expecting an out route or maybe just a straight to the end zone.
I really like
shot.
Oshak on a crosser in the middle of the field
This
right
is-
here.
Or if Hakim can beat his man, we might see.
Or one of the receivers on the outside just going up for it.
Here it is. Kraft open.
He's got
Gonna
it.
go up. Nope, intercepted.
Rosberg raising flag, passes
Off the back
intercepted.
foot for Rosberg. And that's just a play that he had to throw it up.
Ball belongs to the Eagles.
And there goes the points that Deacons wanted before the half.
They needed those points, Jacob.
That's not.
I'm looking at that, and that's a huge momentum swing for Davies.
He had Kraft back there too, and just
underthrown
underthrew
it.
Yeah, underthrown.
That's one that Michael definitely wants back. That's his second interception of the game.
This one more on him than the first one. Both of them actually meant for Connor Kraft. First one was just tipped at the line. Couldn't really do anything to stop that.
And I'll
Claybo.
expect Davies to take it to half right here.
They're going to go for something here. Claybo looking over the middle, and it's a good gain, but it doesn't matter.
And that's
The quarter
the end of
ends,
the first half. The score,
and so does the half.
Shanley Deacons 27,
The Deacons
Davies
holding
Eagles 21.
themselves in this rivalry to a standard of 27 points in the opening half.
And they get the ball to start the second half, too.
Now, by all accounts, that should be a blowout at Cichy Stadium when the Deacons scored 27 first half points. But with a shootout like this, we are in for maybe one of the greatest games you can see here as a viewer of Shanley TV. But that will take it to the half. We are really suggesting that you guys stay online to view the interviews that we collected over the week. Please enjoy. Hi, Jacob Mayo here from Shanley AV, voice of the Deacons on Shanley Football and on YouTube at Shanley TV. I'm here with Damon Hospitales, big number 55, Aiden Melander, number 72 on the offensive line. How did you guys rebound after a rough first quarter last week?
Going into that second quarter, we were definitely feeling it.
Made sure we brought the energy up. Biggest thing was literally just we played harder and more physical than we did the first quarter. So,
And we just kind of hit it off that. Got to bring the pop to them, and we definitely brought it.
They rallied back, coming down from 16 to nothing to make it a 28-16 game. The defense really stepped up their game last week. I'm here with Will Mayhoos, big number 56, who has been dominating the defensive side of the football pretty much throughout the entire year. Tell me, what was it like to get that fumble recovery in the end zone those weeks back against South?
Well, that was the best feeling of my life. It was my first and only ever varsity touchdown because I play on the line.
What triggered that comeback against Legacy last week?
To be honest, I think it was a lot closer than people thought it was in the first half. It was 16-0, but one of their touchdowns was just a lucky touchdown, and we had a great first half defensively. I think we got momentum when we scored a touchdown at the end of the first half, and then right in the second half, right away, Luke Holcraft goes out and has some great catches, and we get another one. So I think big shout out to Luke Holcraft for those catches he had.
Any film that you've been studying that might determine what the Davies defensive style is going to be?
It's not anything crazy. They like to send a little bit of pressure for block, on pass plays, and they pretty much just run just a basic coverage and 4-man front. Sometimes they have 3 backers in the box. Most of the time it's 2.
All right. Thank you. Will Mayhus, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of defense, what is there to expect from Davies' defense? I'm assuming that you've been watching film this next week. What are they going to bring?
Mostly it is pretty equal passes and runs, but mostly the things we need to look out for are just the outside runs and just making sure that we keep the inside locked down. But biggest thing is just making sure that we're able to watch any of the tosses onto the outside.
Davies has a hard run defense. They have some big guys up on front, but I think we'll be able to move them, establish a running game, although Davies should be wary of our passing game as well. Shout out Michael Rosberg, D1 commit to St. Thomas University. I think he will be able to make his way around Davies' defense and allow us to win.
And another great thing, QB play is excellent for Shanley this year, but the offensive line's protection basically gives Michael the time that he needs to make the plays that he does. What is your favorite moment from this year's football season?
Favorite moment of this year may actually be so far last week's second half. That was the first time that our team has had to face real adversity and be able to bounce back in a really big way.
It's definitely got to be that homecoming win over South. Just an absolute amazing masterclass of a football game from Shanley.
Thank you, Aiden, for taking this interview. You heard it here, folks. Damon Hospitales, thank you, and we'll return. Welcome back to the second half of Shanley football action. Shanley is set to receive the football. We got 24 minutes left of game play, of gaming. Oh, wrong terminology of football here. And what a first half. Still at a loss for words. 48 combined points between these two teams. Shanley has a 6-point lead. And here is the kick. Nunez sends this one, and I believe it's Oshak with the return. He gets a decent return up to the 27-yard line. Here comes the Deacon offense.
Oshak really loves that spin move right there. I see him use it on so many different plays, whether he's doing a kick return, punt return, or just catching out of the backfield too.
We got 11 minutes and 52 seconds left in this quarter, which, if it follows the same pattern as the quarters before it, we might see another blow-up in points. Rosberg checking the defense's coverage. He's going to hand it off to Adam Leininger, who from the first play of scrimmage gets about 2.5 yards.
Good solid run by Leininger here. Just keeping the defense honest.
Yes.
If you keep running the football, that's going to open up the passing game and give Vutriac one-on-one chances. And as we saw in the first half, we really like those odds.
He has gotten into the open space twice now. Opening play from scrimmage for the Deacons. He brought it to the 3, and then Oshak's one throw is going for a touchdown. This play gets blown up in the backfield.
Oshak has a perfect passer rating in high school.
He does.
Just like to put that out there, a solid 158.3. That leads the team.
Yes, it's very impressive considering that he cannot stop scoring no matter what he does. If it's special teams, if it's receiving, even if it's a end around on a
He's an athlete.
Little sweep play, he can get it into the end zone no matter what. And
early
Shanley,
third down for the Deacons.
Yeah, early third down. Rosberg rolling to his right, looking, throwing, firing. Hakim, good hands. First down. Deacons get a little bit more than I think Hakim thought they did. He stretched over, which is always a good thing and a good habit.
manhandled him right there. I mean, he just stretched the ball, and when it was still a live play, that could have been swatted out.
The defender's head was at his shoulders.
He just had that much confidence in himself right there. Total alpha move by Uno.
And 10 minutes and 8 ticking on the clock. Rosberg looking, throwing, quick pass is held on to for about a 3-yard gain. A little zip pass to Dukart will make it about second and a manageable 6.
Now Rosberg, he's okay with doing these little dink and dunk curl routes right here. He's taking what the defense is giving him, and if you're going to give him 4 yards, he's going to take it.
Absolutely.
And we've seen that a lot in this game and overall this season.
Rosberg, 2 interceptions in this game, despite Shanley having a lot of points on the board. Here he goes, running. He picks up about 2. When he falls forward, as you mentioned, there's no shortage of yards gained. Just kind of a mobile tank.
Yeah, interesting to know is when you're looking at the corners on the outside for Davies, their hips on that play were pointed inwards towards the quarterback, and when they're doing that, they're going to be playing cover 2. And that's what we saw right there. They didn't really affect much on the play because it was a run by the Deacons, but something to look for on passing downs.
Speaking of looking for on passing downs, look
doing
to
it
Connor
again.
Kraft or Hakim on this play. This is also flirting with 4th down territory. Rosberg looking. He's instead going to hit Oshak, and he's going to get the first down. 7 when he needed 5. That's impressive catch, too.
Oshak has earned the nickname Mr. Reliable because he is Michael Rosberg's right-hand man. Every third down, it seems like he's looking his way.
And, yeah, he's always open. Every single crossing route that he makes.
We're going to call him Third and Oshak now. That's what we're calling him. from now on in this broadcast.
3rd down Shack. Okay. Rosberg, handoff. Leininger got some space to run. Here he goes. Adam Leininger, will he make it? Going, gone. Touchdown, Deacons. All the way, no flags.
Well, right there we saw Davies. They brought pressure in the middle, and we just bounced off to the outside, and there was nobody there to stop him.
8 minutes and 3 seconds. Does that touchdown finally cross the goal line?
And Shanley student section, they're getting excited. They're all on their feet cheering for their Shanley Deacons.
How can you not? 34 trying to make it. 34 points for the Deacons. And here is the PAT attempt. A little bit high. Doesn't matter. Right through the uprights. Snap. Irrelevant.
This is what we need to see out of the Shanley Deacons to start this second half after that missed opportunity in the red zone to close the first half. If you're a Deacons fan, you wanted to see them. You needed them to come out here and score super fast, and that's what Michael Rosberg and this offense did.
And without a moment's hesitation, too.
And now if you're Davies, this is a must-scoring situation. You have not faced much of a deficit in this game, let alone a 2-score deficit. You need points on the board or else this one could get ugly.
Shout out to a viewer of Shanley TV, Diane Kulsness, watching from Thief River Falls, Minnesota. We love our Minnesota viewers. Thank you for watching, Diane. Matthew Berg ready to kick this one off. I believe now for the 6th time.
Shack's on the sideline, getting everybody hyped up. They're having fun in this one.
They are. Kick, another little rolling one that is going to be returned. Oh, a big tackle by Cam Allers.
And they're pointing for the ball.
What do we see here?
And they're going to say Davies retains possession. But Cam Allers, he means business.
Oh, he was upright, and then he instantly came down on him in less than half a second, it felt like. It's
a huge drive by both teams right now. And this could really decide the game and see if it's going to be a closer game or if it's going to be a shootout. Because right now, Shanley needs a stop if they want to extend this lead even further.
Deacons got that box covered. Ball is dropped. It looks like Hayes recovered, Lucht recovered his own ball.
And that could have been a huge run if it wasn't for that mishandled handoff right there.
He actually got a considerable amount of yards. I don't even know if he passed the line of scrimmage before that ball came out.
That was a huge break by Davies to get back on top of that and get any sort of yards right there.
Because if they lost possession of that football,
you give Michael Rosberg a whole 40 yards and he's going to make him pay.
Looking, throwing wide open. In and out of the hands. Another drop pass by Nicholas Hasbargen. That one would have been gone.
Hasbargen was thinking about what touchdown celebration he was going to do in the end zone. He forgot to catch the ball there.
And that is painful.
That's one of those where you get so excited. You see the ball coming to you. You know that it's a touchdown if you get it, and you just lose concentration right there.
Oh, and you just don't want to go into that next play knowing that you could have, you should have, you would have.
Oh, I feel like it's going to be hard for him going to hell right now. But this Davies team, they're gonna be able to bounce back just fine.
They're down in 7 from their own 39. Claybo takes the snap, drop back, looking, throwing, over, tipped. No flags, incomplete. Davies are looking at a punting situation here.
Great closing speed by Landon Meyer right there to make sure that even if he would have caught it, it would have been barely behind the chains.
And I'm not
You don't
sure.
want to punt this football if you're Davies, but what other options do you have? Because if you go for this and don't get it, this could turn ugly. Because you cannot give this offense, which they have not been able to stop outside of 2 occasions, you cannot give them a shortened field. And maybe they'll try to draw them off sides. But this surprises me, Jacob.
Maybe they have a similar situation to Shanley in that they punt the football. No, they're not. Claybo looking, throwing, over the head, incomplete, any flags?
Landon Meyer again, closing speed to break up that pass. He's been having a great game so far at the safety position.
Huge turnover on downs. Deacons retain possession.
I don't know if I like that call, Jacob.
No, I don't either. I don't think I like it.
I understand you haven't been able to stop them all day, but they didn't get it. And now you're looking at the ball at the 39, 38-yard line for the Deacons after they just drove down with ease to score.
Speaking of driving and hopefully not stopping, 7 minutes, 11 seconds, 7:11 on the clock. Michael Rosberg back on the field for Shanley. Handoff, fumble, turnover of possession, recovered by Davies.
Mishandled handoff right there between the running back and Rosberg, and that literally just gives them the ball right back like they would have had a first down. Oh, if you're the defense, you got to be shaking your heads. You just had an amazing stop for the Deacons, and they turn the ball over one play later.
3 turnovers for Shanley.
That's not a recipe for success.
None of them which are on 3rd or 4th down, 4th down, turnover on downs. All of them are just turnovers in general. Handoff, going up the middle, dragging defenders.
And there Davies is, going back to their bread and butter. Just running the football up the middle. They tried to get a little bit too creative. They tried to stop playing their game of football in the second and so far in this half. But they're finally getting back to that. And if they want to win this game, they have to keep pounding the rock.
Pounding the rock, they start this drive off, which honestly is just basically a continuation of their last drive. Practically the same spot on the football field.
That really makes you think, if there wasn't that one interception in the red zone and the half and that fumble, this could be a 4-score type of game.
Claybo accounting for all 3 touchdowns for Davies. He's looking, he's going to scramble, take off, and get wrapped up and ripped down.
I believe that was by Perkarevich right there. Great closing speed by him.
Good read by Claybo.
Also, give some credit to the secondary. Outside of a few miscues here and there, they've been locking up the receivers for Davies, making it hard for Claybo to complete a pass.
6:15 and counting. 3rd down and 2. Single coverage to his right. Claybo takes the snap, handoff up the middle. Very close. I think they're going to get the first down. Ooh.
They're going to give him an extra yard there. Huge 3rd down conversion by the Eagles.
Hayes takes it across.
And now they have a little bit more momentum now. New life for the Eagles. If I'm the Eagles, I'm running the ball on 1st down up the middle, and then on 2nd down, I'm going to run the ball again up the middle, and then 3rd down, I'm going to do a little bit more of the same. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I get in the end zone, because that's what's been working.
And it's just cross the 50-yard line into Shanley territory. Do the Davies feel like they had at least a say in
that
this
ball
drive?
Is out, but I think he may have been down.
Hayes at the carry.
Again, Hayes, he's trying to do a little bit too much there. He's trying to extend it for the 1st down, but hey, 2nd and 5, why are you extending that football for?
I don't know if he was actually down or not. From our angle, he seemed to be.
And Coach Matter, he's not liking that call.
No.
He's given the ref a piece of his mind right there, and as I would too.
2nd and 5 from the 41. Claybo looking, throwing long. Does he have his man? Oh my goodness, caught.
What an acrobatic catch. He had to change his hips mid-play right there. He had his hips toward inside, had to get them outside just to be able to reel that in.
Meyer didn't turn his back, and York, what a catch by Daniel York.
That was good coverage, but just an even better play by the receiver.
Excuse me, Fisher Hannison on the coverage there, not number 5, Landon Meyer. Just under 5 in the third quarter. Here goes Claybo. Does he have it? Flag on the play. That's going to maybe be holding.
Yeah, when you're running outside like that versus this Shanley Deacons team, it's going to be hard not to commit holding penalties there.
Holding on the Eagles, and that's
going to take a touchdown off the board, and that's huge for this game.
Make it first down and 18. Still doable. And still field goal range maybe if they want to put up a field goal and are forced to by this defense.
I don't think field goals is going to win this game right here. I understand it's better to get some points than no points, but I mean, data backs it up. You have a better chance of going for a touchdown here and winning the game.
First and 15, not 18, excuse me. Claybo running. Almost an exact mirror of the play that he just did. Another flag comes flying out. Maybe it's
another holding.
It's either that
or illegal man downfield, either or.
Either way.
But again, that's not going to be a touchdown for the Eagles. They're really shooting themselves in the foot this drive.
First and 25.
Shanley student section loving it. Davies, not so much. And they're going all the way back.
They're going to make it only to the 20. Really?
All right, so it's first and goal to 20. What's your play call here?
I would utilize the outside here. Because
even though the last 2 times you ran outside, you've committed holding penalties?
Yeah, I would. Third time's the charm. And not only that, I wouldn't run it. I'd pass it here, and that's what they're going to do. Claybo going to the end zone. Some contention, and no flag called.
I mean, that seemed like clean coverage right there. The ball was just thrown a little bit outside, and the receiver didn't expect it to be right there.
And both
and I would like to mention, though, that like this turf, it's a little slippery.
Yes. It does get quite slippery, especially when it's at nighttime, and you can really feel that cold air affect how your footing is. A lot of great catches made regardless of that tonight. But that ball,
especially the one that got them down here, that's a
handoff. Oh, wrapped up and taken down. Maybe had an opening to go to the end zone. Luke Lawrence got about 9 yards taken off at 20 yards. Will make it 3rd and goal from the 10. 30 minutes and 48 seconds and ticking. Deacons trying to hold. As Brooks said, bend not break. We haven't seen a lot of that tonight.
But right now, Shanley is holding up to that philosophy right here.
Here we go. 3rd down and 11.
I would expect to pass, but you really don't know with this offense.
Low snap. Claybo looking. He's going to take off. Can he make it? He won't. Oh, upended. Meyer got him at the 3. Gives up 8 yards, but again, bend, don't break.
There was no way Landon Meyer was going to miss that tackle. It was one-on-one. Landon Meyer versus Claybo. Landon Meyer's going to make that play.
They have to basically go for it here. 4th down and 3.
You can't drive all the way down this field to stop 2 yards short to take 3 points.
It's more like a 4 yards.
And now I would expect to run up the middle here because we have not been able to stop that very much in this game. And that's the formation they're bringing.
Shanley
the power up the middle.
Box. Cramming the box, Shanley, as Claybo takes it, looks, stutters, scrambling. Can Hospitales get there? No, he can't. Touchdown, Davies.
They
Shanley
almost
breaks.
had him right there. Huge momentum swing by the Davies.
A turnover coming off of a defensive stop. Ends in a touchdown for Davies.
They have the Deacons on their toes in this one, cutting the lead to 6 points with the PAT on the way.
This is a huge PAT too, because it makes a difference in regards to what they need to tie the game. PAT is up and good.
It looks like Clavo was dead to rights there, but he found a way, and you gotta give him credit as a sophomore doing this for Davies.
2 minutes, 34 seconds left in the third quarter. Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathletic.club.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button, or become a member if you are not one already. It's easy to become a member, and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level.
Back to receive for the Deacons. Juniors will be kicking it off for the Eagles.
That really changed the momentum swing in this game. Shanley's sideline was about 5 minutes ago in real time, was all jumping up excited, and now they're at a standstill. This is a huge drive, not only for this game, but just for morale on the sideline.
It can all change here with this kickoff and maybe a good return. Chrisman is going to fumble the football, but this is where he does best, is with surprise. This time, though, only gets to the 17-yard line.
And now Shanley has to go 83 yards if they want to match that touchdown scored by Davies. But as we know, all it takes is one play.
One play has happened, I think it's been 2 times today. Feels like 3 because of that kick return touchdown by Caden Chrisman.
I mean, both sides have had a lot of great one-play type touchdowns going the whole length of the field, and Shanley might need one of those on this drive.
The weather has brought about a slower pace of football, not as many points because Shanley has had some turnovers due to this ball maybe not sticking the same way it normally does. Oshak, he is the king of holding on to the football.
He's been taking in a lot of hits.
I don't know how he hung on to that football.
He might need to check his ribs after this one because, yeah, he's taken a lot of huge hits in this one.
Getting the wind knocked out of him, he comes trotting off to the sideline. First
He's
down.
a fighter, though. He's a fighter. He's going to stay in this game for as long as his team needs him to.
Absolutely. 2 minutes, 8 seconds in the third quarter. Rosberg telling his line to get set. Has thrown quite well tonight, except for those 2 interceptions that could have been on touchdown drives. That play gets dragged down behind the line, or maybe at the line of scrimmage. Leininger doesn't get much.
Well, they've been running that play all game. It's about time Davies tries to stop it right there, and they do.
No gain on that play. Instead, 2nd and 10. Shanley, a lot of screen plays, a lot of little over the middle throws. We might see a shot taken here very soon, and we might get one. No, another screen play. Leininger looking. Does he get a block?
Another man very far down the field. Looks like 64 was almost running a route right there. But no, he lays out a block. Much needed block to get the first down right there.
Was very close to being an eligible man downfield, but instead, it's a first down for the Deacons as that clock continues to tick.
And that was just a big first down. They need to get that first down of the drive to ease in and try to get momentum back in this one.
On a chilly October night, Rosberg hands off, and this is a respectable little run by the Deacons. Perkarevich taking that one, Isaac Perkarevich. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Deacons. How do you rate their run game tonight?
I really liked it. That one Adam Leininger touchdown, it had me out of my chair for the 4th time in this game. And I'm really liking it. We did not see much of it in the first 3 games, but in this later half of the schedule, we've been seeing way more of it, and I'm really pleased with the results.
Maybe the last play of the quarter before the field switch, and we see another change of pace. Dropped Caden Crispin. Could have gotten a couple more yards than nothing.
I'm really surprised on those short screen passes that Davies, they know where it's coming, but their linemen haven't been able to put a hand up to try to block them. I'm really surprised by that because you could get a few tip drill interceptions that way.
10 seconds in the third quarter. Clock does stop, so we will get one more play.
This is the biggest third down of the game to this point right here.
It is, because it's a one-possession game.
Look for Sam Moshak right here.
Fake. Over the middle, Hakim wide open, he's got it! Buchiri Hakim staying on his feet until he's put down at the 15-yard line.
And now we're both standing up after that one. Buchiri Hakim, deep threat for the Deacons.
That is the end of the third quarter. The Deacons prone and ready to strike again. Going for 40 tonight on the Eagles. We got a whole nother quarter, the most intriguing quarter, the fourth quarter of high school football action. Stay tuned. It's the 25th Street Showdown here at Cichy Stadium.
Fans, we're still looking for an inhaler. If you found it, please bring it to the concession stand. The inhaler's been found. If you lost it, pick it up at the concession stand. First and 10 for the Deacons at their...
First and 10 for the Deacons at the 15-yard line. They are on the doorstep of the Eagles' touchdown line. Rosberg's going to take it, and he's going to go! Touchdown, Deacons!
Was that Michael Vick or Michael Rosberg? You really can't tell right there. Great run by Rosberg, taking it in for 7.
Well, we'll compromise and we'll call him Michael Vicksburg because we're going down the Mississippi and scoring another touchdown. Yeah! Anyway, we have another touchdown scored by the Deacons. Rosberg, no passing touchdowns. He does have 2 rushing touchdowns in this game.
Now, if you're Davies, you're like, how do we stop this offense? You understand they have 4 amazing wide receivers, maybe even 5. They have amazing running backs as well. And now you have to factor in Michael Rosberg running the football.
Deacons will go for 2 here.
As they should, making it a 14-point game. I think that's necessary.
Allers to his right and Leininger behind him. We'll see if they'll run it in.
They're doing their own version of Davies' offense there.
Deacons taking a timeout on a 2-point conversion.
Well, this is a big 2-point conversion because if you can get it, it's a 14-point game. If not, I mean, 12 points, that really doesn't do much. But either way, this next drive, again, crucial. Davies needs to keep scoring. They cannot afford to stall out on any of their future drives, and they need to get stops as well, which, well, they haven't been able to do.
2-point conversion, and it's a big one. Rosberg looking, throwing, firing. Caught in the end zone is Connor Kraft. 2-point conversion is good.
And that's huge. Like we mentioned, now it's a 14-point game. 2 touchdowns and 2 PATs. That's the difference right now.
Shanley making their wrongs right. 6 touchdowns for the Deacons. Get this, 10 in total for this game between these two teams.
How could you not enjoy a battle like this? It's not even that it's sloppy defense. These are just 2 amazing offenses going at it and scoring points in 2 different ways, too. It's really remarkable.
And it shows contrast. I don't really know who has had the ball more this game. I know the Deacons have probably...
It feels like they've had more possessions, but
Yeah.
Davies may have had the ball for even longer because Shanley's scoring at will right now, and they're scoring at a fast pace.
That throw to Hakim was, again, immensely huge.
Call him 7-Eleven because it seems like he's always open, Butcheri, down the field. He can't be stopped on that go route.
Joseph and Brown back to receive for the Eagles.
Matthew
Now
Berg
to kick off the Deacons.
up to kick it off for the Deacons. Expect the unexpected with Deacon special teams. A little squib kick, a bounce, and a return, a fumble on the play,
And that's Landon Myers on it.
no, it's not. It's
it
out of his
slipped out.
hands. Pile on top of
Myers.
Covered by the Eagles.
Ray Brown
Huge.
fell on it after that muffed return.
That's a huge break by the Eagles.
31-yard line.
And again, they just keep having those little things go their way to keep them in this ball game.
And yeah, they caught a big break there. Instead, Claybo gets a new...
Yeah, now if you're Landon Meyer, you gotta just have short-term memory right now. Just focus on this next play. And just keep your head in the game that way, which I know he will. He's that type of guy.
He's saving up his hands to get an interception. That's what you have to think of it as.
Well, he almost had one last game, but Sam Oshak stole it from him. He wasn't too pleased about that.
And that's a nightmarish false start.
Motion on the Eagles.
And that will push them back even further. There were multiple people who were up before that ball was snapped.
5-yard penalty will make it 1st and 15.
Yeah, if you want to win, not only just in this game, but in the game of football, you can't have silly penalties like this. Because especially if these two teams, they both want to compete for a state title, and they are both capable of doing so, you can't have penalties like this to start a drive, because that just kills any momentum that you're trying to start.
3 receivers to his left. Claybo might pass it here. Would not be surprised seeing that it's 1st and 15. He is, but
Will Mayhews again close.
he's going to throw wide open. His receiver flag on the play. We might get a holding penalty here.
Eagles pass complete.
That would be fitting. We've seen that so many times today.
Lucked on the reception. Got a 1st down.
Right when Davies starts getting any type of momentum going, it seems like there's a yellow marker on the field to just push him back.
Against the Eagles.
This will be 1st and I believe 25, which is a complete turnaround from what they were expecting their starting field position to be. Instead, they're in their own 15.
I'm going to go on a hunch right now, and I'm going to say there's going to be a lot of running for the Davies offensive line on Tuesday's practice.
They need to bring more of that running intensity because it's worked, but maybe not at the times that they need it to work, like on 3rd downs. Instead, they get it to work here on these 1st and forever plays that come once in a blue moon.
I really like watching Claybo run. He's so elusive, and he knows where his blocks are and where to go with the football. It's really awesome to watch. No matter what team you cheer for, you got to give credit where credit's due.
Clock continues to tick. We're approaching the 11-minute mark, almost a minute into the 4th quarter. Snap taken by Claybo. Looking, pressure coming. Can Allers get to him? No. Perkarevich falls down, throws it, and it's caught. Ducart takes him down just before the 1st down line.
That could have been ugly.
Looked like he was either disappointed or hurt. Good thing he's just disappointed.
17 will be third down and 1.
Got 17 when they needed 18. Brings up 3rd and 1.
Dukard with the tackle for the
Dukard, that was a touchdown-saving tackle. If he doesn't make that open field play, that's 6 for Davies.
And it was by the shoestrings almost.
Deacons, it's third down.
Big 3rd down here.
Deacons fans are on their feet right now, cheering on their
Davies.
Deacons.
Here is the snap, right to his chest, and met at the line is the fullback, not getting anything at all.
That's going to be a negative yardage play right there.
Jack Brendan on the carry.
Well, this is obvious 4th down territory, 4th and 3. I mean, they did it on 4th and 7 in the same spot in the field.
He ran into Leininger, and Mayhews cleaned him up. 4th and 2, they have to kind of go for it here, don't you think, Brooks?
Oh, they definitely have to. And, well, I feel like it's going to be a run to the outside, whether it's Claybo or one of their running backs. I feel like you can't trust up the middle right now with how this game's going.
4th down on their own side. Where have I seen this before? Davies, high snap, takes it. Sneaking through his luck, and he's going to pick up a 1st down.
And that was very smart to run away from Will Mayhews, who just had to stop on the previous play. Great awareness by the play caller for Davies.
10 yards to go and a fresh set of downs. The Eagles continue this drive, trying to glide their way into the end zone on the back of these 4th down conversions and a rather hectic opening down of 1st and 25. Snap taken, and no holding penalty called. Instead, it's going to be 9 yards. Will Mayhews looking for a holding penalty.
He's looking for it, and he's not happy.
We got a player hobbling around for Davies. Brennan Palmer might go out of the game.
Yeah, but back to Will Mayhews. He didn't get the holding call right there, but it seems like every single time there's a passing play, he's back there either drawing a hold or getting really close to the quarterback, because he already has 1 sack in this game.
And it was a big time sack, too.
Corners are playing off the wide receivers here.
And look who almost jumped that perfectly. Instead, it's going to be a 1st down. Lawrence takes it to about the 40-yard line. Mayhews almost got to that quarterback.
He looks hungry.
He does look hungry.
I don't know if he had a pregame meal or whatnot, but he wants it right now. And you can definitely tell by the way he's walking around.
8 minutes, just under 8 minutes in the game. Davies needs to make this a 1-possession game here, or they're going to run out of steam. Quarterback is going to throw it into the dirt. Had a receiver open to his left.
Hospitalis with the pressure right there, forcing the ball a little bit early and maybe change the trajectory of it as well.
Lawrence is open to his left, but instead Claybo targeted Lucht and more likely just kind of chucked it into the ground.
2nd down and 10 for the Eagles.
2nd down and 10, and that's what Shanley needs to do. Whenever it's a pass play, they need to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere, because now you have a 2nd and 10 instead of.
Watch Mayhews coming off the right side of the line.
Here's an audible. Claybo changing something that he doesn't like.
Oh, Mayhews came off the line fast.
Throwing, and it's a good audible too. Gets them the 1st down. Ray Brown making his way for 12 yards, needed 10, moves the chains.
And that's what Davies needs to do. They just need to keep moving the chains, and if you're Shanley, you want to keep pushing them into 2nd and long, hopefully 3rd and long, because that's how you're going to get some stops on defense.
Clock keeps ticking. Under 7 minutes and 30 seconds in this one. And it's been a good one. Just outside the red zone. Shanley bringing pressure. Here's a little pitch. And the play is not tackled. Here he goes. Going all the way. Touchdown, Davies. 28 yards. And a wrestling in. I don't know what happened there. I'm pretty sure the Shanley defense was going for the ball rather than the tackle, And instead it results in a Davies touchdown.
Well, that triple option right there, that's dangerous. And they ran that play to perfection right there. Execution was on point. And now here comes the PAT
It's a
to
big
make
one.
it a 7-point game.
PATs have been huge this game, but this one is gigantic. And it is through.
So 7 minutes left in this one. Deacons are up 42-35. Another high-scoring game at Cichy Stadium. And it looks like Shanley's going to have to put up at least one more touchdown if they want to win this game.
They've been really all over the place with ball management. Shanley has this game.
They're either driving down the field or just something uncharacteristic happens, it feels like, where they turn the ball over. But this is not a spot in the game right now where you try to throw in double coverage. You get loose with ball security. You need two hands on that football at all times right now, because Davies, they're going to be trying to punch it out any chance they get.
Shanley would love a decent return on this play. They didn't get one from Caden Chrisman last time, only making it to the 17-yard line. It did not matter. Shanley scored, making it a two-possession game. Davies has just answered with a touchdown of their own, just as impressive, off of a 28-yard scamper and fight for the goal line.
How can you not love the 25th Street Showdown?
How do you not?
I mean, it's been going all around social media this week that this is going to be the best atmosphere in North Dakota this week, and it has lived up to that high expectation.
Fourth quarter kickoff. Here it is. Lawrence is going to kick this one, and it's a little bullet into the hands of Meyer, who's a capable returner.
Meyer's usually trying to tackle these guys at safety position. Doesn't play any offense, but right there, he gets a chance to show off his ball skills.
42-yard line. They will take that field position any day over 17-yard, I think.
Well, yeah, what Davies was simply just trying to do was just to try to get them to fumble, muff the ball a little bit, but Landon Meyer secured that with ease and even advanced the ball as well.
Speaking of 17, Rosberg coming back out onto the field. Number 17 has managed to get Shanley into the end zone quite a bit tonight, as you can see.
That was
by
a
the
great
score.
open field tackle there by Oliver Lucht.
Lucht is applying some duct tape, I feel like, because he's got some great hands.
Well, he is, yeah, I mean, he's great as a running back, but he's also, you got to realize, he's also a D1 commit at linebacker to NDSU. So he knows how to play both sides of the ball, and he is what's really been the deciding factor in this one for the Davies Eagles.
He has, on the offensive side, in regards to his previous games, has been, well, kind of quiet relatively, but he's definitely been important here on defense. Leininger slips by, and he's going to get the first down. Did not look like he was going to get it, but he fell forward for about 7.
He always does. I have never seen a run where he falls backwards. It's always falling forward, and I think you got to give credit to him in the weight room with AC.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's always churning for extra yards, and he's great for this offense right now. The leading rusher for this team.
But he makes it look so effortless. He doesn't look like he's carrying a man on his back. It just looks like he's gliding with them, almost like he's dancing with them or something. And
now he's lined up at wide receiver.
He can
Empty
do it.
backfield right now, 5 wide.
Rosberg going to take this one, run up the gut. He gets about 2, maybe 3. And you'll see it habitually used, the quarterback draw play.
And at this point, the name of the game is time on the clock. We're a little bit over 5 minutes left in this one. Shanley has it in Davies territory already. If they get a score here, it's game over. But that's only if.
Deacons trying to get every single second off that clock. They're going to go under 5 minutes with this play. And it's a run. Rosberg tumbling, stumbling, but not fumbling up to the 36-yard line.
Now, if you would have told me that in week 1, after watching week 1, that this would be what the run game looks like, I would have said you were crazy.
I would have
It took
too.
them until midway through the third to do their first run play in week 1. Now they're doing it 3, 4, 5 times every drive. It's really remarkable to see how they can play 2 different styles of football and execute to almost perfection in both of them.
Absolutely. A great point. 4:25, though, left on this clock, and the running game is helping that immensely.
I would do
wear
play
down.
action rollout here on 3rd and 2.
Another QB draw, and he's going to get there with that forward lean.
Yeah.
Rosberg with the keeper.
I mean, he's 6'4". What else can you do? We've commented a lot on the broadcast about his 6'4" frame, but especially running the football, how can you not?
And that was 3 straight quarterback draw plays. Now, I said habitually, but, you know, that was a necessity there, I guess.
And the clock keeps running. If you're Davies, you got to start looking at the timeouts in your pocket, because if you don't, they will run this clock all the way down.
You got to make a defensive stand here at the 34-yard line, because if they get into that red zone, they are too close. Leininger gets wrapped up.
2 hands on the ball, though. That's what they need to do right now.
71, Jack Bullinger.
And there's the first timeout for Davies.
Timeout called by the Eagles.
Yeah, see, I like that timeout call right
I do
there.
too.
You stand them up at 2nd and 10, and right now, they're in no man's land. This is not field goal territory, especially because we don't know if it's going to be Adam Leininger or Matthew Berg. So I like this timeout call right now.
You got to wonder, this is 4th down territory, but Deacons are up by a full possession. Now, what is the limit, do you think, Brooks, between punting it and pinning them in deep?
Well, so, I mean, I think if it's 4th and 5, you go for it. Anything shorter than that, you go for it, right? But if you're looking at 4th and 6, 7, 8, I think you got to try to do a little pooch punt, pin them inside the 10, and really trust your defense, which has been playing very good in the second half.
Shanley trying to remain calm and collected. They've had 3 turnovers. And here's Rosberg throwing. This is a little completion to Caden Christman, the elusive return man, wide receiver, getting maybe 4
Take their second time out of the half.
or 5.
Christman, he's so physical as a wide receiver, but he's also so nimble as well. He can really do it all for that offense.
Davies is going to take their 2nd timeout. Shanley would love to have a touchdown, but they can also afford a field goal here to make it a 2-possession game.
Yes, right now, I mean, it's 3rd and 7. Let's say they don't get any more yardage. I think you still go for this.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think you call this next play call in anticipation that you're going to be going for it. So you don't need the full 7 yards, but try to get 4, 3, 5 yards, whatever it may be, to make it 4th and manageable. And right now, I really like Sam Oshak in the slot or Leininger out the backfield. 2 great options right now.
Matthew Berg has hit it from 37 degrees. Oh, sorry, 37 yards, but I don't know the temperature in degrees on the field. Rosberg takes it, throws, tip ball! Almost picked off, slamming his hands on the ground. Could have been a huge turnaround.
And now Davies gets to save a timeout there with an incomplete pass, and now they might be getting the ball back. But as you know, Shanley, they don't punt out of an ordinary formation. They do it in shotgun like they run every other play. So if they want to pin them inside the 10-yard line, they can.
Grant Chozik almost turned this entire game around. He was the opening kickoff returner that got Davies excellent field position.
I think they're going to be going for this right now. I don't know if you guys can see on the camera right now, but looking at the 50-yard line on the sideline, you have Landon Meyer and Fisher Hannison talking through what will be the next drive that they're going to be on the field for. It looks like they're ready for anything, and they've been doing a great job manning that right side of the field so far today.
Fourth and 7 for the Deacons.
We have a lovely audience both in the crowd and at home To all you who are watching right now, the biggest play is about to unfold right in front of you. Shanley might punt it, but they're going to throw it. Rosberg looking over the middle. Almost intercepted, but instead it's a turnover on downs.
It looked like Oshak was being held the entire way right there. Refs obviously didn't see it that way. And that's going to make it Davies football with a little bit over 3 minutes left in this one.
And it's absolutely doable. But now the Shanley defense has to make a stand.
Now, if you're the seniors on this defense right now, you got to really motivate this defense to make a stop. You need to be very vocal because this is the game.
Save up your nails, folks, because you will be biting them this entire 3 minutes and 13-second period. Low snap. Here's a run to his left. Good blocking on that far side. Claybo's gonna get out of bounds and stop the clock on the keeper.
Davies is really good at bouncing outside when they're not committing holding penalties. And what you saw right there is once they get around the boundary, they're able to tiptoe that up and get close to a first down almost every time.
We'll make it 2nd and 1. Deacons on that non-converted.
They have to go 60 yards here.
They have to go 60 yards from here.
Time's not really a factor right now. They have a timeout. They can really just run whatever offense they choose. They don't have to go 2-minute drill.
Snap taken, handoff. Here's Lucht, and he gets the first down, but he also gets stopped right away.
Yeah, Lucht's been having a quiet but great game so far.
Clock temporarily stops, and it starts to tick again. 3 minutes and ticking. 1st and 10, Eagles need to go 57 yards to tie this game or take the lead, depending on whether or not they want to risk a 2-point conversion. This one gets thrown into the ground, incomplete.
You know, I would say they're both 5-1 teams. No reason to risk being the 1 seed by going for 2. I say if Davies does end up scoring, I would be shocked if they did not go for the PAT.
It's worked for them 5 times. The intended target for Claybo on that last play was Lawrence, but to no completion. This is a little speed option play, and Claybo runs a man over who was getting blocked. Ducart takes one for the team.
And, back to that 1 2-point conversion that was passed to Connor Kraft. Looking at the score of this game, of how big that really was. Instead of it being a 5-point game, it's now 7. And that's really the deciding factor in this one. Shanley fans are getting excited. It's 3rd and 5.
3rd down and 5 in this 25th Street showdown. Biggest one, probably, in regards to 3rd downs, but we've seen a lot of 4th downs. Claybo.
He's not going to get there. It'll be 4th and 1.5, 2 yards.
Incredibly manageable.
And now we got some subs coming on the field. Fresh bodies on the defensive line. That's going to be huge in getting this stop.
A main figure coming out is Dylan Carlquist.
He's one of the more vocal leaders on that defense. They need him on this play.
Here we go. Running the football here is expected, but it's also maybe not being taken as seriously as you might think. No flags.
Missed throw by Claybo. That's his first bad play of the night, and it couldn't have come at a worse time for the Fargo Davies Eagles.
I was just about to say, I don't think anyone recognized on that Davies line how important this play was. They all just stopped as soon as they saw that ball not on target, in disbelief.
I mean, you've been running the ball with ease all game. It's 4th and 1 where you need that 1 yard, and you're passing it when you have barely been doing that all game. I'm not sure if I agree with that play call there, but nonetheless, it's a 1st down for Shanley Deacons, and they have a chance to wind down the clock.
1 timeout for Davies, 1 timeout for Shanley. We'll see how they use this clock. They better get on the line quick. Only 11 seconds. I think they're going to have to take a timeout.
They're going to call a timeout. Well, now, if you're an Eagles fan watching at home, because I'm guessing we have a lot of viewers that are fans of Davies, the game's not over yet for you.
No.
If you guys can hold the Shanley Deacons right here, you guys have a timeout, have 2 minutes to spare, you could get the ball with less than 60 seconds. I know it's not ideal, but anything can happen, especially in this 25th Street showdown.
These teams know each other incredibly well.
I mean, a lot of these guys, they grew up neighbors together.
Absolutely. Last year, Shanley came to Davies in the opening week and won 34-0. The Eagles have brought their heart and soul and have played every single second of this game, and they've brought us an instant classic.
And now if Shanley can hold on to this game, only if, they're going to tie up the series with Davies since moving up to AA. And that would be huge for the Deacons.
The battle for the first seed all depends on this drive.
Yeah, because Davies coming into this one was ranked #1 in the state. And that all could change here with this game.
Just a little run up the middle.
And timeout Davies.
Wow. And there goes that final timeout.
But yeah, this is, if I'm Davies, the game's not over. Like, keep your head up on that sideline. There's still a game to win. Shanley's going to run the ball one more time. And then they might go for a pass to get the first down. If that's incomplete, you have more than a minute to spare.
They need to take 3 knees if they wanted to end this game now.
With a first down, it's over.
Yes. If they, boil enough clock off.
And now you also have to make sure you have good ball security, because we saw that one missed handoff that resulted in the Eagles getting back in the game, and which really one of the deciding factors for why the game's so close right now was that fumble. You can't have any of that right here, right now.
Shanley coming out trying to put the nail in the coffin, although Davies is still not dead.
For the Deacons.
19 seconds on the play clock. Rosberg takes it, handoff up the middle. No, going to his left is Perkarevich. He's going to get just shy of that first down marker.
They're going to say move the chains. I was going to say, if that's 3rd and short, that's Michael Rosberg quarterback sneak all the way. But they gave him the first down, and that all but ices it so far.
They technically need to have 5 seconds off that clock, and they will have it run down for them.
1st and 10 for the Deacons.
And then now they're in a kneel formation as they have Holcraft back there around the 48-yard line.
And with 1 minute and 27 seconds, Shanley takes the first knee of victory formation.
I mean, it's crazy to watch, Michael Rosberg. They only run shotgun plays, even on quarterback kneels like that. He's in shotgun. And the only time he's not is when he's spiking the ball or doing a quarterback sneak. But even then, he might be going shotgun for a quarterback draw. So he loves his shotgun, and you might be seeing a lot of that if you're a St. Thomas fan up in the cities.
And as this clock is just going to be shy of 40 seconds, we'll see what happens here.
Davies
Rosberg.
fans are filtering out. They don't have a long ride home, considering we're on the same street, but they have seen enough. As Shanley winds this clock down, they have to snap it one more time, but
the people in the booth, I think, tried to set the clock back 5 seconds, and with that, Shanley.
Look at them. Game over.
Shanley has won the 25th Street Showdown for a 2nd year in a row.
They took down the top team in the state in doing so as well. Huge win for this Deacon team. They haven't played pretty games in the past couple of weeks, but this was a pretty game.
Instant
and
classic.
They can hang their head high on this one. Having a lot of momentum heading into Mandan, which that's going to be a tough environment to play in, and then finishing out their season at home with this broadcast versus St. Mary's. I'm looking forward to that one.
I am too. St. Mary's Again, another game probably going to be just like this, maybe a little bit more defensive oriented.
Well, I would hope we'd be able to score a little more points and hold them to a little bit less. But yeah, it's always a fun game with those two.
Davies came and played their best today. Congrats to all the players who played in this amazing football game. But with that, for Jacob Mayo and our entire crew, he's Brooks Huber. The final score from Fargo, Shanley Deacons 42, the Davies Eagles 35. Your 25th Street Showdown is over. To watch the archived version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to shanleytv.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV. Thank you.